What's up, everybody? Adam here from Samsung Galaxy Unpacked in London, England. And here's a fun fact: Samsung does not provide stable tables for their demo rooms. That's cool. Anyway, I am here looking at the 3 new phones and 3 new watches from Samsung. We have the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8, and the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 8. Additionally, we have the Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra 2, and we have 2 Samsung Galaxy Watch 9s. So I'm going to give you the 1-minute preview of each of these phones, and it's going to be great. So we're going to start off with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra, and we're going to start with this phone because it's very similar to its predecessor. I know, try and hide your surprise. Couple of cool things, and look, we need to understand everything that I'm going to talk about here is fairly minor. But we still have the same 200 megapixel main camera, and there's a 50 megapixel ultrawide camera, and then a 10 megapixel why did you bother telephoto lens. Also, one cool thing, which didn't really ring until I saw a demo of it, and it is actually kind of neat. The Samsung Galaxy Z Folds and Flips all have an anti-reflective coating on the inner screen now. So one of the biggest problems with foldables, honestly, is the inner screen being so incredibly shiny that if you're in a well-lit environment, the reflections can sometimes be a little bit of an annoyance. So adding an anti-reflective coating is kind of a cool thing. It's not a big deal. I want to be clear about that. This is not a big deal, but it's a nice added little touch. But it's also fair to point out, this is the 8th generation foldable that Samsung has built. So we're kind of into those little touch refinement area. That's the territory that we're in now, and I really need to stop hitting the table. Anyway, as far as the main highlights of the phone are concerned, better ultra-wide camera, and that's great. The anti-reflective coating is fine. Also, Samsung says it's a little bit easier to open, and I can agree with that. If you look at the groove in between the 2 halves, there's a little bit more room to get your fingers in there to open it up. So the Fold 7 was a little silly trying to open it up sometimes. It wasn't a big deal. Again, small refinements. And that pretty much does it for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. God, these names. Next up, I gotta say, I like this phone a lot more than I thought I was going to. This is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8. This is the non-ultra version of the phone, and this is a shorter, I mean, you've probably, if you're watching this channel, you've probably seen the leaks and the rumors. It's a squatter version of the Z Fold. I mean, it's fairly significant how much squatter it is. It's also wider. You can see this peeking out from the back there. But the nice thing is that, first of all, it's a very one-handable phone. This phone is one-handable-ish, but this phone here is pretty darn one-handable. Like, you can get your thumb just about anywhere it needs to go. But when you open it, you get a blank screen. No, I'm kidding. When you open it, wow, I think I just broke this demo unit. Here we go. When you open it, you get a much more tablet-like experience. The best way to illustrate this has been with YouTube. I'm just gonna open up a full screen video in YouTube on this phone, and I will do the same thing on this phone. Oh, copyright strikes. Let's turn that down. Boop. And then, so like, you look at the letterboxing here, well, you don't get, I'm trying to flip this around without touching it, you don't get nearly the same letterboxing. And actually, this ends up being a bigger picture because of the aspect ratio, which, by the way, is 4:3. This is closer to a 1-to-1 aspect ratio. It's not exactly 1-to-1, but it's pretty darn close. All right, so we're gonna just turn that off. So, like I said, I like this phone a lot more than I thought I was going to. The cameras are 50 megapixels and 50 megapixels, main sensor and ultrawide, so you're losing the telephoto, but honestly, it's 10 megapixels, who cares? So you're losing that, but this is a delightful little phone. I'm a little bit smitten with it. This might actually be my favorite of the two book style foldables. It's very compelling. It has the same anti-reflective coating on the inside, so you're gonna get that same benefit. But just overall, I really like how this opens up. It's a little bit smaller than this screen, like from a square inch perspective, but I don't think it would be that hard to get used to using this particular aspect ratio. It's definitely very different than what you get from like a normal phone. So like, for example, I don't have a normal phone with me. Let's just use the Flip 8 for example. It's a lot thicker. It's not quite as tall. So, like I said, it's very one-handable. It might take some getting used to get used to this aspect ratio. One thing that I think is really interesting is that this is a very similar setup to what we had from the original Google Pixel Fold, if you'll recall that. It's not quite the same. It's not like a 1-to-1 comparison. Speaking of aspect ratios, but you can see it's actually fairly similar. And people did not like this phone, mainly because when you unfolded it, it was not perfectly flat, and that's fair enough. One other thing that we should talk about is Samsung developed its titanium flex hinge, which is supposed to make the crease as undetectable as possible. We tested this. We're here with a bunch of media. We tested it up against a bunch of other foldables. This is probably the best crease that Samsung has made thus far, but it's not quite as good as what you'll find on the Oppo Find N6. So I think that's really interesting, but it's very good. It like, if you could see like my face, you could see my face is not warping as much when in the reflection. It's still there, like you can definitely still see it, and I have some photo comparisons that I can put up here that'll kind of show how the differences are. But anyway, finally we have the Flip, the Flip 8, and the real big headline for this is they completely changed the interface on the home screens, on the closed, the cover screen, home screen. So, for example, this works very similarly to a normal cover screen, in that you have an app drawer. So like you can swipe up and get your app drawer. You can swipe down and get your notifications. There are no notifications on this phone. But they also said that you can customize the different cards that you can swipe through. Now, for the app drawer, you might be thinking, oh, an app drawer. You mean they finally got rid of that stupid limitation? They did not. You still have to go in and do the multi-star thing, which someone apparently has already done it on this phone. So we weren't supposed to do that. You still need to go in and install the multi-star through the Google Galaxy store. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but they simplified the process. Samsung simplified the process for the Flip 7, and it seems like they've simplified it even more for the Flip 8. I'm going to need to play with that a little bit more to form a solid opinion about that. But those are the three phones that Samsung launched at Samsung Galaxy Unpacked. I'm going to do a separate video about the watches, so stay tuned for that. But that's going to do it for this particular video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like seeing this kind of content. Comment down below which of these three phones is for you. Which one do you have your eye on? I am digging the Galaxy Fold 8 more than I thought I would. But which one do you think you'd like? Comment down below, like, subscribe, share, do all that fun YouTube stuff, and I will see you in the next video.